Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm finally getting round to my 300k special, which at this point is like 10,000 subs late almost. Not quite sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know, here we are. I had a bunch of ideas for like a milestone special video, but honestly they were all kind of just typical videos. I wanted to do something that was quite a bit different, so you know, I figured that an Outpost video would be perfect because not only is it very different, but it's a video that I can include so many of you guys in that helped me to this milestone. So it really seemed to go together like peanut butter and jelly, or chips and vinegar, which is something that apparently Americans don't eat that often, which actually baffled me quite a bit. So, if you're unaware, Halo Outpost Discovery is a traveling Halo universe experience. It's sort of kind of like a Halo convention, but one of the quirkiest things about it is that it's canon. The event itself and everyone attending are quite literally in the Halo universe. So not only are you experiencing it, technically you're kind of in it as well. The idea is that it's a UNSC education centre that's set up shortly after the end of the war for civilians to learn about recent human and also alien history. Now, obviously, it's not all canon. I doubt civilians would have been informed about like the Flood or the Sentinels or anything. That's maybe a little bit too much in Oni's jurisdiction for humans to know about it, but I imagine that most of the Covenant stuff, for example, and all the other UNSC stuff is also pretty canon. When you get there, you're literally greeted by an AI, Gabriella, and you'll also find two Spartan 3s wandering around the event, Owen B096 and Hazel A302. Scattered around are tons of different things from Halo, from jetpacks to magnums to flags, and oh my god, he's still alive! The cave theory was real. Oh my god. It's actually real. Noble 6, if you can hear me, hang in there, buddy. We'll find you sometime soon. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. The fact that all the models here are actually the proper size really does make you feel small, even compared to the smaller things like grunts and infection forms. Imagine one of these suckers sticking its tentacles into your neck and burrowing inside your chest. Ooh, that's a major yikes right there. Anyways, moving on, I can now say that I've experienced the Halo ring in real life, and it was glorious. The ring experience was literally what it says on the tin. It was like being given a guided tour of a Halo ring's greatest hits. There were full-scale indexes, monitors, sentinels, and infection forms, and even a small chunk of a Halo. Obviously, not to scale. Seeing all these things though in their like actual proper sizes is so weird. The Sentinel in particular looks so small in game, but in reality, they're huge. They're absolutely massive. They're like twice the size of me, and granted, I'm not huge, but you know what I mean. It suddenly makes punching them like you do in game feel a lot less viable. Then, surrounded by a backdrop of the library, is the full-scale infection form, and man, I know I've said it already, but these things are even more freaky in their full size. It really puts all the spine-tingling stuff that they do into perspective. And then to round the ring experience off is the dome experience. So basically this is a literal guided tour of the Halo in one of those like dome cinema things that they always have at like science centers and all that. It was honestly like really cool being flown around in a Halo vehicle, actually a new Halo vehicle, the UNSC Honeybee, which is meant for reconnaissance, and flying like across the surface of the ring and past all loads of familiar locations and seeing wildlife that actually we've never seen before, and then dipping down into the underbelly of the Halo where the Sentinels are made, and then popping back out again to see the ring from orbit was insanely cool. I can highly recommend it. And honestly, most of the other attractions were pretty good too. The laser tag was like laser tag on steroids. Spartan 2 augmentation steroids, in fact. I couldn't get any footage, unfortunately, but the guns actually had multiple settings, so they could switch between operating like an assault rifle, a BR, a shotgun, a sniper rifle, an SMG, and even a carbine. I never got to do this, unfortunately, but some friends of mine actually got to play team snipers and also team shotties. I only got to play with an assault rifle, however, all 3 times that I did it, in fact. Definitely not jealous. The 2 escape rooms, Covenant Escape and Pelican Training, varied a fair amount in quality though. Covenant Escape was, not all that great, I'll be honest. The theming of it was decent. It did kind of feel like I was in the halls of a Covenant carrier, but having 6 people cramped into a tiny room with very simple objectives that we found out you literally couldn't fail wasn't all that great. However, the Pelican training escape room was actually really good. It actually took me by surprise. The theming for it was honestly amazing. Like, I genuinely felt like I was in a Pelican the entire time. Basically, the idea was that you were in a Pelican with 7 other people and it started to malfunction, and each of you had to input commands in coordination with certain other members of the team into your own personal terminal. There were loads of different buttons and levers and switches that you had to press, but you had to follow certain orders given to you by an AI and like flick certain switches or whatever in coordination with either the rest of your entire team or maybe 1 or 2 other members that were picked out by this AI. I was actually quite surprised by how much you needed teamwork to beat it. Like, you literally couldn't beat it unless the whole team were working together. The Hall of Halo history was also really good too. All the weapons and pieces of equipment that I've showed you already were full scale and really, really well made. They looked straight out of the universe. And the species height chart was, what's the term? I'd say it was rather sobering. The games don't quite do the height of the brutes or the hunters enough justice, but hands down, the piece de la resistance was the full-scale chief statue. Halo 2 Anniversary Chief, may I add, and also the Elite, who, you know, I like to think was maybe Artas Vadum pre-mandible amputation. Both, honestly, though, just looked absolutely incredible, and standing beside them felt crazy in person. But, hands down, the best attraction there was the VR experience. It was a 3v3 PvP Halo experience in what was like a small speedball type field built above Halo 3 Valhalla. And quite honestly, as somebody who's played a fair amount of VR, this was hands down one of the best VR PvP experiences that I've ever played. It felt like speedball paintball in a way. Everyone had shields and health, just like in normal Halo, but the only weapons that we had were plasma pistols, which functioned just like normal, with a spammable trigger and also an overcharge option, so there was quite a lot of just spamming the trigger at the enemy. As time went on as well, the cover on the map would like change, and some cover would disappear, other cover would appear, some like plasma barriers would appear that you could shoot down and shoot through, so the field was always evolving, and my god, it was satisfying to get kills in this. As somebody who plays a lot of paintball, I played like quite aggressively, like running up to enemies' cover that I knew they were behind and like shooting over it. And my god, I swear sometimes, like when I'd knocked an enemy's shield down with like an overcharged shot and my plasma pistol was cooling down, I kept getting this like muscle memory urge to melee them, which obviously wouldn't have ended particularly well, to say the least. 343, please put this VR game on Steam. I'm not joking. I really want to make a video playing it. I would be over the moon if after this season of Outpost was done, you guys whacked this game on Steam. 343, please.
They might be able to start the run right off the bat. The run looks good. They're going to let Johnny's side. He's got the sword out. He could do this quick. Not much time left. He's going to bring this right in. He might have to walk in the park, folks. Should be able to get this.
So, moving away from physical attractions to more human-based attractions, during Outpost I managed to tick quite a few things off my own personal bucket list. I finally got to meet the legend himself, Marcus Leto, the co-creator of Halo and also the father of Master Chief, which was honestly incredible. And you know, speaking of Chief, I can now say that I've officially met Steve Downes and Jen Taylor. For those who somehow aren't aware, Chief and Cortana. Twice, actually. I met them twice, which was an absolute once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Or actually, I guess it was a twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity, technically. And you know, whilst we're on the topic of Chief and Cortana, they blessed us with a live reading of 2 cutscenes, one from The Maw and one from 2 Betrayals. And I recorded them both for your viewing pleasure. Enjoy.
Maybe you start with that first one?
This thing is falling apart.
It'll hold.
We're not gonna make it.
We'll make it.
Pull up, pull up! You did that on purpose, didn't you? Uh-huh. Here we go. Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
Let's find a ride and get to the cabin.
No, that'll take too long.
You got a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control room. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Uh-oh. Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I think I can take the needed energy from your suit. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Guys, give it up for Stephen King.
Oh.
I don't know what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna say 3.
Pretty cool, eh? Seeing that in person was spine-chilling, to say the least. Another one of the highlights as well were all the cosplays. Like, there were so many good cosplays that I didn't get a chance to get a picture or a video of them all, but among the many insane ones there were Sergeant Johnson, a crazy accurate, gritty version of Chief from the Package with a sick AR and BR, a Noble 6 inspired Spartan 3, a Halo 3 EVA complete with a 1-to-1 scale brute shot, a build of Halo 4's cut version of Hayabusa, an SPI build, and also a really cool themed Medic Spartan, and many, many incredibly dope ODSTs, one of which was the most fitting combo ever, an ODST and his saxophone. The cosplayers were crazy good. Big shout out to the 405th and also everyone else for the insane work they put into their suits. Honestly, I cannot imagine how long they take to make, but one of these days I'll try and get around to it, because I would love me a set of Mjolnir. And finally, the centerpiece of this 300k celebration video, meeting you guys. It was honestly so humble being able to meet so many of you guys, and just like, thank you all for helping me get this far, because you guys are as much a part of this as I am. To say that many a picture was taken is quite the understatement, but honestly, just thank you all for being like so cool and chilling everything. Like, not one awkward encounter. Everyone was like super cool, super chill, super understanding when I had to leave and all that, so thank you very much. I mean, I knew that I was going to be meeting a fair few of you guys, given that, like, you know, it was a Halo-specific event and all that, but I didn't expect there to be, like, as many iconic boys in Chicago as there were, so thank you to all of you for coming out to the event and for stopping me to say hi and everything, and thank you for continuing to support me. And so, I think that that is the perfect place to round up this video. Thank you again to everyone that I met for being so chill, and thank you all so much for watching. Big thank you to all the usual patrons for their support over there, and thanks again for like the 3 billionth time now for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.